Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. I'm just doing a follow-up video to the one I did yesterday about the difference between Carolina Reapers and 7-pot primos, and is one better than the other? Is one hotter than the other? And the conclusion is definitely it really just depends on the genetics of that specific plant, and every plant can have different genetics, even though they're the same species, they're the same variety, they're the same cultivar, they're the same selection. They can still have different genetics, and all the pods on that particular plant can have different Scoville heat unit ratings. But today I want to talk a little bit about some peppers that are not really talked about a lot. Some of them are becoming more and more talked about, it seems like, this year. But other ones that have kind of gotten forgotten, or just ones that are up and coming maybe even. Well, first off, let's just start off with the 7-pot chocolate douglas, okay? The 7-pot chocolate douglas is the parent of the big black mama, which is, consensus is that it's definitely one of the hottest peppers in the world. But a lot of people are sleeping on this old school super hot. Nobody really knows the specific origin of the 7-pot douglas. And for my money, I would bet money any day of the week that at any given time, the 7-pot douglas can run with any of the world's hottest peppers. Even Pepper X, even the Warthog, any of them. It really just depends on how you grow them. But the 7-pot chocolate douglas, for my money, has the DNA to absolutely be one of the hottest peppers in the world. These things can get extremely disturbing in their capsaicin oil content. They have gigantic capsaicin producing glands, and they are just, these things are still ferocious. And nobody bred them. Somebody bred them, but they're not from somebody that's recent. These things, that's an old pepper from Trinidad. And they're just amazing. They're still good. You can grow a 7-pot chocolate douglas, and you can still run and compete with any of these newer super hots like the Dragon's Breath or Warthog or any of these crazy. On any given Sunday, the 7-pot chocolate douglas can compete with any of them. Next, I want to talk about this is called a Nogla Beast Caramel, but mine kind of grew kind of chocolatey, and it looks like I think a stink bug bit on it. They usually don't bore that deep. It's probably a worm or a caterpillar, but anyway. These Noglas are insane. A lot of people don't realize how insane Noglas are, especially this one. And there is a mustard Nogla out there that a lot of people are saying might be the origin of the Pepper X. So these Nogla beasts in particular are extremely insane as well. And I think it might be, if I'm not mistaken, it is descended from the 7-pot chocolate douglas and the Naga Morich. So, and I don't know where the caramel beast part of its name came from. Obviously color, but minor chocolate. But these things are exceptional. And again, it's another pepper that is extremely, extremely hot and can compete with any of the hottest in the world. I grow them all. I grow the chocolate primatali. I did not get Warthog seeds, but next year I'm going to try to get them and grow them. But Dragon's Breaths, chocolate primatalis, the Nogla Beast is up there with any of them. This thing is just ridiculous. We are moving on to another kind of unknown super hot that isn't really that popular with a lot of growers, and it deserves to be. This is a 7-pot cinder, and again, it is just, I think that it has some weird parents. It's like 7-pot Mad Balls or something. A guy named Butler or Bootler or something like that from the Hot Pepper Forum is the guy that invented these, but This is a pepper that has really impressed me with its capsaicin production. But yeah, this is the 7-pot Cinder from Texas Hot Peppers. This is their F8 filial generation. And these things are just extremely impressive and brutal and insane. Amazing, super hot pepper. Another one that is just a competitor to any of them, any day of the week. Next we have Fada's Poison Tail, and I've actually seen a couple of different newer YouTube videos of people talking about these things, and it's rightfully so. This Fada's Poison Tail is a cross between the Carolina Reaper and the Moruga UV, and it has another. It's a 3-way cross. It has something else in it. I don't remember. I'd have to look it up. But man, these things again are just extremely mean and vicious. And one of the things that I've noticed is the size of the capsaicin glands up near where the seeds are, where the pith starts. Usually the bigger the gland, the more capsaicin it produces, and usually the longer tail it has. I've noticed a kind of correlation between that. It's not true every single time, but it's usually a sign if something has a long tail that it's a pretty mean pepper. So, but yeah, the Fada's Poison Tail, grown by Giancarlo Fada from Italy, and he is an exceptional master grower, and this is one of his masterpieces. I love the Fada's Poison Tail, and they are delicious, and they are brutal, and it is another. I think it's another competitor for the world's hottest any day of the week. Next we have the Tiberius Mahler. This is the caramel variety, or I should say trait. It's more of a caramel trait than it is a pheno, but sorry, I don't know where my hand is. It's got the old man's face. Look at that. These things are just silly, man. And it's another one that I think, I think the Tiberius Mahler, it definitely has the DNA to be a world's hottest competitor. For this to happen, there needs to be some selection. Year after year, season after season, people need to be growing lots of these and testing them, if you can do it with your mouth. If you can do it with your mouth, more power to you. I can't. The way I test how hot a pepper is I take one seed out and I suck on it. And if I'm in a lot of pain for a couple hours, I know that I got a winner. That's how I know. But this Tiberius Mahler caramel, I think that it was unintentionally crossed by, I want to say, Matthew White in Illinois of White Hot Peppers. He's the guy that kind of accidentally, unintentionally crossed this. It's Leviathan Gnarly Scorpion, 7-pot Primo, and Jay's Peach Go Scorpion cross. So at least they think it's an accidental cross, so you never really know. But these things are just completely brutal and vicious, and they 100% have the DNA to compete with any of the world's hottest on any given Sunday. But this one needs more stabilization, I feel. But it's there, it's in the hunt for sure. Another one right here, I'm just going to separate them. This is a forgotten classic. I shouldn't say it's a classic, but it's a forgotten cult favorite. This is the Mutant X, and this was a pepper developed by Matthew Arthur out of Arkansas. And Matthew Arthur is also known as the creator of the War Tricks, and the Daisy Cutter is another one of his most famous. I think that he also invented the purple UFO. And he's being talked about a lot right now because of his Warthog, his MA Warthog. That's the pepper that really burnt Johnny Scoville. So, but this is one that a lot of people don't really talk about anymore. This is the Mutant X, and it is a MA War Tricks crossed with, I'm going to sound stupid later, but I think it was it's a Jay's Peach Go Scorpion. It's a MA War Tricks. I should have done my research before the video. It's an MA War Tricks crossed with a Jay's Peach Go Scorpion. And this is another one that is, people are not talking about it anymore, but these things are just absolutely ferocious. They are insane. You see the bumpy skin, that's usually a sign. Bumpy skin and spikes, that's usually a sign. That's sometimes when you're selecting for really hot peppers, that's sometimes that's all you need to see, you know. It's like when you see an athlete run a 40 in 4 seconds, you know, that you just like, I've seen enough, you know. if they're putting up 225 on the bench press, you know, 10 times in a short amount of time, you know, it's like, I've seen enough, you're on the team. But this is another one that people aren't talking about, and it's an insane pepper, and people are sleeping on it. And I think it's another one that has the DNA, maybe it needs a lot of selection, it needs a lot of stabilization, but it's another one that I think could be in the running for world's hottest pepper. And people are going to laugh at me, but man, I stand by that. I know these things. I've been growing these things a long time, and I like what I'm seeing, and I think that it is just I think it's a brute, and it's one to watch out for. Another one is I'm glad that more people are talking about it now, because this is one, it's kind of sad. It's kind of like a Nikola Tesla, Thomas Edison situation, where people are not talking about Troy Primo and the 7-pot Primo, but everybody wants to talk about that other guy and his pepper that's really similar to it. People know who the real pepper professor is, and it's Troy Primo, and he's the man. I've bought seeds from him for the 7-pot Primo, and I've never been disappointed. His seeds are strong. They're disease resistant. They are, I don't want to say that they're overwatering resistant, but they're resistant to a lot of stress. And all the pods I get off of his plants are uniform in shape, and they are all extremely hot. All the ones I've grown have been hotter than the Carolina Reaper. All the ones I've grown, I feel, in my opinion, should be considered for the hottest pepper in the world. Sometimes those Scoville heat unit rating tests, they don't really tell the whole story of how hot a pepper actually is. And that's kind of sad that this competition has kind of become a game of numbers, and it's not really an artwork or an art form anymore. It's all about who can get the most numbers, and you can actually get the most numbers by not even growing the hottest pepper, and that's just kind of just takes the fun out of it, in my opinion. But anyway, we can still enjoy the 7-pot Primo for it being just an amazing, exceptional pepper. And thank you, Troy Primo, for this pepper. It is awesome. I love it. Another one, I've seen it a lot more every year. It seems more and more people are talking about this one. This is the RB003. This pepper is just so awesome. It's a cross between a 7-pot Brain strain and a Carolina Reaper. And it's been selectively cultivated and stabilized over a number of seasons by an Australian grower, and he's also a power lifter. He's a very impressive power lifter. But Ross Barber out of Australia, man, amazing. It looks like a skull of a wicked bird or something. It's just it's an amazing pepper, and they are super crazy hot. And I love this pepper, man. I can't say enough about it, and they're delicious. These things blow the Carolina Reaper out of the way. They blow the Carolina Reaper away. Sorry, excuse me. They blow the Carolina Reaper away, man, and they're awesome. I love the RB003, man. You can't go wrong growing this thing. All right, and now we're getting into some fun peppers. Okay, this one is called a Douglas Inception. Is it the world's hottest? No. Is it going to be in contention for being one of the world's hottest? Probably not. But they are just still beautiful, amazing. This is something that was found in a grow by Brian Townsend of Townsend. It's either Townsend Peppers or Townsend Chilies, but anyway, he's an OG in the community, just an amazing grower, and this is supposedly like a cross between like a Douglas and perhaps a Boot Orange Copenhagen. I don't think anybody really knows, or I read this story a couple of times and I don't think I really totally understood what was going on, but either way, this is the Douglas Inception, and it's just it's a super fun, beautiful pepper, man. These things are just great. Like, look at that tail. You see that in your garden, and if that doesn't make you happy, there's got to be something wrong with you. All right, so next we're going to talk about the Golden Reaper. And I've actually heard from a couple of people that know and can actually eat these things, one right after the other, you know, and competitively. And they've said that they thought this was one of the hottest peppers they've ever had. It's got to be some kind of accidental cross. I don't think that the golden color, the yellow color is a recessive gene showing up. I think that it is probably accidentally crossed with something. But nevertheless, it still looks like a Reaper. And apparently they're very hot. I'm probably going to try a little bit of this thing after I end this video, but yeah, man, you can't beat that. That's just so fun. And then lastly, we have a 7-Pot Primo Yellow. Look at that tail. Look at that recessive tail. Oh my gosh, it's recessed. Anyway, very fun, very cool. Another one, you know, you put it next to it. I don't think that's a recessive gene showing up. I think that it's an accidental cross for sure. Who knows what it crossed with? I don't think that it crossed with a Bacatum or an Annuum or anything crazy like that. But it crossed with something that was not 7-Pot Primo, and that color is coming from somewhere. And like I said, I don't think it's recessive. But either way, nitpicking aside, very fun pepper. Very cool. I love going out to my garden and seeing them grow. They just bring me a lot of joy. I love just seeing the colors. It just makes me really happy. So I love it, and I love all these peppers. I love hot peppers in general. And yeah, man, a lot of these growers, you know, Ross Barber and Giancarlo Fata, and there's a lot of them out there. Matthew Arthur. People, I think it would be cool if more people recognized who these people are and what they do, and just tell them you really appreciate what they're doing, because what they're doing this is a revolution in the spice industry. As somebody who has worked in the spice industry, and this is a revolution, and I love to see it. I love these things. They're so fun. They're so cool. They bring me a lot of joy and a lot of pain. So if you know these people, or you are these people, thank you, or tell them thank you. And hey man, just enjoy peppers because they're great. All right, well, I'll talk to everybody later. Thank you for watching.